This video is going to be a bit longer. I'm going to share step by step how we plan our trips, the entire process, from the original idea all the way through to reservations and figuring out what all we want to see in an area. Keep watching. As usual, if you get any value at all, whether entertainment value or value for your own trip planning, please like this video and please subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Ring the bell, that'll notify you every time we drop a video. That really does help YouTube know that we're out here making content. Thank you. I plan to either set up chapter markers or list in the description the time markers for each section of the video. That way you can skip over the parts you don't care about or skip to the parts that you do care about. I think it's worth mentioning that I really thoroughly enjoy the trip planning process. Sometimes I'll spend weeks getting ahead of plans that we have months away or a year away because I do enjoy the process. I enjoy talking to Rhoda about what's next, where next, and then starting to figure out how do we go there? Where do we stay? What do we want to see? How do we get around in the car? Stuff like that. So I'm going to share all the details about that process. For me, it's a lot of fun. Once I jump in and get started, it kind of consumes my mind, and I want to just stay doing that all the time because it is so much fun for me. I want to start off by sharing the various tools that we use for planning, and then I'm going to step through the process from beginning to end of every tool that we use, which order we use them in, how we step through finding places to go, where to stay exactly, and the sightseeing that we want to do. Okay, so the tools we use, first is RV Life Trip Wizard. This is not a free tool, but it's very good. It's worth every penny. I use Grok. You could use ChatGPT or Copilot or any AI large language model that you prefer. I found Grok to have the best results lately. I use the Apple Notes app for taking notes. I need a lot of detailed notes to remember all my work. I use the Apple Maps app on my laptop, and I'll explain why. I use tesla.com/findus, the website, and I use PlugShare, either the website or the app on my phone. And I'll share how and why I use each of these along with screenshots. So once we choose our next destination, in this case it's going to be Yellowstone. I use the Apple Maps app to see where it's at exactly because my geography is not great, and sometimes I just want to see where is this place exactly, what's around this place, what else might be in that general area that we might want to see, what people might be nearby that we want to stop and see as well. So in the Maps app, it just lets me quickly scroll, just like you would on your phone, around and see what's there. So in this case, we're going to go to Yellowstone, most likely summer of 2026. So I'll just pop it in here to Maps, fly over there, and kind of get a lay of the land. I don't know much about Yellowstone. There's Yellowstone Lake, here's Old Faithful, here's West Yellowstone. And then if we zoom out a tiny bit and scroll down a little bit to look to the south side, we'll see Grand Teton National Park here and Jackson, Wyoming down over here. I know those are popular places to go as well. Next up, I use Grok, currently my favorite AI tool, to find all the best stuff to see in the area. First with just a list of stuff to see in the area, and you can see how it gives the places to see, tells you where it is, and provides tips about seeing that particular location. You can also ask it for more detail, but this is a nice high level for me to get started. Next I ask again, but I tell it that we're staying in a motorhome and driving a Tesla. And the answer it gives is very good, very detailed. It factors in all the details around both these things. And we don't just go with this agenda, but by reading through the entire thing, we get lots of good ideas, lots of things we would not have known about, and it just provides a lot of useful information that really avoids having to read lots of blog posts, watching lots of YouTubes. It just kind of cuts to the chase, saves a lot of time. The next thing we need to do is open RV Trip Wizard and start figuring out what the route looks like and where we're going to stay. I'll set up this demo video for Yellowstone and just walk through some of the process. We could set the date that the trip begins, or we could leave it with no known date and it becomes a tentative trip. We start with our own current location typically. It'll locate where we are, and from there we will want to zoom out, pan over, and find the Yellowstone area. First we check our filters. These are the filters I have. I want 50 amps, I want pull through, I want full hookup, so on and so forth. So let's just zoom out, scroll over to the Yellowstone area, zoom in, and start looking at campgrounds that are here that might match our needs. Right now I have to click on a button to turn the campsites on. There's all the RV campgrounds. As you zoom in and out, their granularity increases the amount that you see. You can hover over them and see dollar signs, and then click into it to see park details, click on features, scroll around and look at whether or not it's big rig friendly, so on and so forth. Read some reviews. The reviews typically list a nightly price that people are paying. So just doing this lets us kind of choose based on a first glance. If there's no reviews, I'm a little skeptical of it. Zooming in might show you some campgrounds that haven't shown up yet. Red Rock RV Park here seems to be a fit for us for this trip. The features are good. I've talked to them, and this is likely where we're going to stay. Lots of good reviews, lots of positive reviews. The price is going to be high anytime you're within an hour or two of destinations like Yellowstone, but this is pretty affordable. Their August price is lower than their June and July price, so we're going to target August for our stay at Yellowstone. We're going to add this to our trip now. We're going to lock the date because we know we're going to stay about a month, and we know we're going to stay in August because when I was talking to the lady there, she mentioned their June and July prices and said that August was significantly less. So I'll have us arrive 1st of August and stay till the last Saturday of August. And this will be our route. We can show the entire trip and see what the routing looks like from where we leave in Nebraska to the destination in Yellowstone. And from there we can begin to dig in and figure out where else we want to stay. In this case, we have all of June and July to fill. So we're thinking North Utah and various parts of Idaho. We have some good friends that just moved to Butte, Montana. So Casey and Nicole, get ready for some company last week of July in 2026. We're going to be there. Let's look at how this looks in the trip planning though. I had the Nebraska place that we launched after visiting in the spring, and I had Yellowstone, and that was it. But I've since added a Utah stop and 2 Idaho stops. These are just random selections to work through this process and show you how we do this. So we're just going to search for Butte, Montana, and just to get a marker in there, I'm going to pick any campground. We have to toggle the button to turn on campgrounds, pick any single one, add it to our trip. We're going to say 7 nights because we have a week to spend before we head to Yellowstone. We're going to add it to the appropriate place and then zoom out and see the entire trip and see that now we have, let's turn off all the sites that are viewed. All right, so there's our trip to Utah, Idaho, Butte, and then it's just a short drive. You can see each of these drive legs is pretty short except for the first one. Less than 6 hours each day, 3 something, and then it'll just be 2.5 hours to get from Butte down to our stopping point in Yellowstone. So that's how we add a destination, like when we have friends and family in an area that we want to go see them. We'll just drop a pin in any campground on the tool, and then soon I will dig in and find which place we actually want to stay at, figure out exactly where our friends live, and see if we can't be closer to them instead of further from them while we're in the area. It's pretty easy to drop a spot in it like this just to get it on the planning. We don't have a locked date when we need to be here other than we want to be in Yellowstone August 1st. So the last week prior to that is really the ideal time for us to drop in a visit to see friends that are really that close to where we're going to be anyway. Since we started out the planning with Yellowstone in mind for that summer, it became the anchor point for the month of August, and now we have to fill in June and July. So I'll go to Grok next and get all of the Utah and Idaho places to go, and then we dig around in RV Trip Wizard and find the exact places we want to stay. Even though 99% of the time we charge only at the campground because we only stay places that will allow that, we look to see where the infrastructure is for charging. So on tesla.com/find us, we see a West Yellowstone location. We see a spot in Jackson down to the south that is a Tesla supercharger. These will give us a couple hundred miles in about 15 minutes of range if we were to need that. If we turn on this other button, we can see some third parties, which are hotels and restaurants and stuff, just to know what else is in the area in case we need it. But again, typically we have plenty of charge to leave the campground and come back. We also compare to the plugshare.com website. These show Tesla and third-party apps, but it's a little different view than what Tesla shares. So I keep these in mind. I make a list of them in my phone. I can also access them real time in my phone from the PlugShare app. It's just good to know where else we can get fuel, but again, we typically have plenty of charge to do our daily driving and sightseeing and get back home. To demonstrate the next step of the process for us, I'm going to share my Notes app for the Yellowstone planning and just kind of show you the whole thing here. At first I was looking at staying at Fishing Bridge inside Yellowstone, but it's super expensive, like over $4,000 for a month. So I started looking in the surrounding area on TripWizard and went from Fishing Bridge, where I had already mapped out distances to many of the sites in the area, and then found Red Rock RV Park, where probably we're staying. They have that low August price I mentioned before. So next step is listing the key locations, including specifically the furthest one away, and using the Maps app to go from this RV park to those locations in order to see how many miles there are to understand the range for the car. In every case, we're still well within the range of the Tesla we have, even round trip, even at the longest distance, mainly because the range varies by speed, and in the park you're going slow. Next, I list the charging notes as I looked through tesla.com/findus and PlugShare. I note where the superchargers are. The SC stands for supercharger in West Yellowstone and in Jackson, and then I note some of the third-party chargers as well. The red lines on this map indicate the Yellowstone National Park Grand Loop, the entire figure 8, and then also the upper portion is called the upper loop and the lower portion is called the lower loop. These are the backbone for exploring Yellowstone by car, going past most of the iconic locations and sites that you'll want to see. What I want to mention about Tesla range is that it's highly speed relative, meaning when you're driving 80 miles an hour on the interstate, a car rated for 300 miles of range is going to get more like 200 miles of range. But when you're going 20 to 25 miles an hour and stopping frequently for animal traffic on the road, you're going to approach almost 600 miles of range at that speed under those conditions. So for us, the Tesla in National Park is really ideal because most of our drive days are well under 200 miles of range. But going the speed that we do to see the sights and making lots of frequent stops, the range really does go well past 200 and well past 300, even if it's necessary to run the air conditioner, which does not create near the range hit as what a lot of people think. We hope this video showing how we plan our travels has been useful to you. Check out the video description below for other video links, including a more complete RV TripWizard demo and other videos or playlists that we believe are relevant to this video. And as always, thank you so much for watching.